incredible turn to the upside, and a lot of that may be earnings related, but also a turn away from all those stocks that had really been rocketing to the upside on this short squeeze. As a matter of fact, a lot of that had been muted, and we started to see a return to the buying, and the buying specifically in the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ had an absolutely incredible day yesterday. It was up over 300 points, about 2.5%. All three legs of the NASDAQ, and I put it into three categories. You've got tech, so throw in there Amazon, Tesla, Apple, Facebook, Cisco, Oracle, all those various names moving to the upside. Some strength there. Also, all-time highs for the biotech index. And that is in the face of a downgrade with Moderna getting hit to the downside. And yet the biotech index continued to go to the upside. And throw in the semiconductors. So another great day for Skyworks. Several of those names really working to the upside. NXPI, Texas Instruments, Intel, really a nice strong performance as well. So a really interesting day. Volatility still holding around 30 yesterday, despite the fact that we had this nice run to the upside across the major indices. And that was really, but it really was a NASDAQ driven run to the upside. Now volumes, 45 million contracts again. So we continue to be on this incredible pace of volume that is participants in the market space. And it's not just what everybody wants to categorize it with is Robinhood. There's much more to it than that, and it's been becoming something bigger and bigger and bigger. And this is not a 1 week or a 1 month or a 6 month story. This is a story that has been playing out since 2018 and just continues to grow to the upside in just leaps and bounds. Unbelievable run to the upside. So really nice finish yesterday. How about today? Well, today started off pretty strong early on. Matter of fact, in the pre-market, we were up about 250 points on the Dow, about 115 points on the NASDAQ. The Dow today really is taking control and moving to the upside. And the strength that we have been seeing just every 10 minutes or so since the opening bell, we just continue to see movement to the upside. The last I looked, we were up 530 points on the Dow. We were up about 170 points on the NASDAQ. So certainly this day, we are seeing an outperformance now from the Dow stock specifically. Take a look at what's going on with financials right now. Financials leading to the upside, up about 2.5%, and we are seeing a lot of strength there. As a matter of fact, I got an unusual coming up for you in the financial world, but we'll stick to a little bit more of what's going on right now in terms of the short selling. Those are the names that are having the weakest movement to the markets right now. We're seeing that pull back and obviously just pull up GameStop and some of these various names. You can see what I'm talking about in terms of the pressure is on that side of the category. But on the other side, we are seeing industrials perform. We're seeing financials. And let's not forget about energy. Those beta names are absolutely on fire today in the energy space. And I'm talking about Apache and Marathon Petroleum, Occidental, all of those 5% or higher moves. We see oil up, trading around 55 or a little bit above 55 as well. So a nice a cocktail of performance from 3 or 4 different categories moving to the upside. Last I looked, every single sector had been in the green. So that says something as well. We've had days where we haven't had anything in the green, and now we've got every major sector in the green right now. So I mentioned financials having a really great day. Take a look at some of the big names specifically. Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs. Morgan Stanley really on fire to the upside. Here's one. How about this? A little unusual option activity. Wells Fargo. Now, Wells Fargo has a very large trade here and a very what I consider to be a smart trade because they are, with volatility, it has come back in. We're trading in the mid 26s right now from trading around 30s, and actually we got up into those mid 30s just last week with some of the selling. But here we are now in the mid 20s, trading about 2660 last I looked at the volatility index. But when I look over and I see trades where you're spreading it off, those oftentimes do make a lot of sense. Wells Fargo is the example here. 27,900 of the April 32.5 calls being bought. Stock was trading about 30.60 at the time. They're spreading those off against the 37.5 calls. So buying 32.5, selling the 37.5. It's a $5 spread, and they're paying for the 32.5, so about $1.30. So taking off a little bit of that risk by selling these 37.5s. That's a smart trader who knows that there is probably some upside, at least in the shorter term, for the stock, and they're willing to actually give up some of that upside by selling some of that premium. Now, Norwegian Cruise Lines. We've had Carnival Cruise recently. Now we're seeing Norwegian today. Norwegian stock was trading around 22.60 and the buyer of 4,600 of the February, so it's fairly short term, but the February 24 strike calls for $1.10 up to $1.30. So about 4,600 of those trading to the upside as well. So seeing a little bit of activity and a variety of some, maybe you can call that the opening trade. A lot of people are always looking for different categories of what's making this happen. Let's just say it this way. Some of these names do have some shorts and a little bit of a squeeze still in place. That's the old squeeze. I'm not talking about 100% of the stock is short. I'm talking about just normal, but still some short interest in multiple names that can cause a little bit of that squeeze in a different manner than what we've been watching recently, some of the mania. But still, nonetheless, there will be some grappling. So that's, I think, part of what we are seeing in some of these names and the opening trade aspects of it as well. Folks, have a great day of trading. Educate yourself. You've got to have the education. Knowledge is king. You've got to understand the derivatives markets. I talked about 45 million contracts today. Talked about 55 million contracts just last week. We have had a lot of activity, and it continues to grow. A record-breaking January. February kicking off pretty strong as well. So you just have to have that knowledge, though. You have to understand the risks so that you can understand where potentially rewards can be, but understand that risk reward that you get from the derivatives markets and the time frames and all of the different Greeks. We found out how important some of those Greek pricings can really be, and we've been watching that play out over the last couple of weeks as well. Folks, have a great day of trading. We'll see you later on. We'll see you tomorrow here